Saturday, the 27th of June, marks 8 years since the landmark Janus decision, where the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that public employees have a right to join or not join their union. Now, since then, millions of public employees have opted out of paying union dues. But according to Washington Policy Center's Elizabeth New, who heads up their Center for Healthcare and Worker Rights, many employees still are unaware that they even have the right to opt out.
Yeah, the 2018 Janus decision was a game changer. It means that union membership is entirely voluntary. You can be a union member and pay it dues, and a lot of people enjoy doing that. You can not be a member and not pay dues or agency fees, as used to be the case. So you can choose either way, and that's really helpful for people, especially with ideological reasons, to be against union membership. A lot of people see the union politicking in ways that don't align with them. And so seeing their money go to political purposes that they don't agree with is what this whole case was about. Should they be forced to finance a union speech that they disagree with? So the Janus decision declared a First Amendment right for these people. They can join or not join a union as they wish. Since then, it's been 8 years. A lot of workers still don't know about this right. Um, it isn't included on required workplace posters about a worker's rights. It's not listed on a state website where other rights are listed. So if union membership is truly voluntary, and we care about all workers' rights, employees should receive neutral information about membership before a union gives them paperwork to sign up, because then they're often locked in for a while. So what we're hoping to do, WPC created a resource that public employers could download and give to their workers upon hiring in onboarding materials, or they could post it as a poster in a staff lounge next to other worker rights that are required by the state. So our point is to just make this about worker awareness. It's plain and simple. You can join a union, you can decline membership. It's up to you.
Washington Policy Center created a one-page resource that employers can simply download and give to their workers as part of their onboarding materials. You're a new employee. You're going to have the pitch from the union as to why you need to opt in and how good it is for you and all the benefits. At the same time, maybe you should have some information about why you might want to opt out. But as New with WPC told me, they really are hoping that this 8th anniversary is an opportunity for the public employer, not the employee, but the employer, to see the benefit of really educating their employees, especially those new enrollees, as to what their rights are. Now, Olympia-based Freedom Foundation created an opt-out site right after the Janus ruling to assist public workers in exiting their unions. And they reported they are on track for another record year as of May this year. They have helped, get this, more than 275,000 public employees exit their union due obligations. And to date, that has cost public sector unions an estimated $791 million in revenue, according to Freedom Foundation, as of a May 21st published article. And I spoke with Freedom Foundation CEO Aaron Withy back in December of 2025. At that point, for the year, just for 2025, they helped more than 50,000 employees opt out of their unions, and 5,000 of those workers were right here in the state of Washington.
We have to expose what the unions are doing because no one else is going to tell them. The unions aren't going to tell them what they're spending their money on. The state certainly isn't going to tell them what they're spending their money on. So the Freedom Foundation has to expose what the unions are doing. Take the National Education Association and the American Federation of Teachers, for example, the country's largest two government unions in America, teachers unions in America. They spend around 10% of their budgets on, quote, representational activities, meaning this is what we deliver to teachers. The rest of their money is primarily spent on gifts to politics or to left-leaning nonprofits, C3s and C4s, and then of course staff overhead, salaries and benefits for them. So their primary jobs are not representing teachers, otherwise that's where they'd spend their money. They see their primary role as political advocacy. So that's what we expose to teachers and other public employees every single day is that your $80, $90 a month is being spent on stuff that doesn't go towards your benefit. So our message is simple. Opt out, put that money back in your pockets, and just try it. If you do it for 3 months and you really feel like you missed the union, they're not going to prevent you from rejoining. But most of the time, people do not rejoin those unions. They find that money better off in their pockets.
Now, because unions across the country have lost out on hundreds of millions of dollars when these public employees exit their unions, they're in no hurry to make sure you know you have the right to opt out. I totally get that. And as a consequence, several states, blue states, have passed laws to require public employers to make sure that the unions have access to those employees at their orientation when they're doing their onboarding. The unions can sit there and say, hey, wait a minute, make sure you sign up right away. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on thus and such benefit. But the Freedom Foundation and other groups have filed litigation, and they've lost repeatedly, to say, okay, wait a minute, if the unions get a chance to, have access to these employees at onboarding, why can't we also have access to make sure they are aware of their rights to opt out? Another tactic that's been used by union leadership in recent years has been to limit the opt-out window for employees so that if they miss that annual opportunity, they're obligated to keep paying those union dues for another year until the next opt-out window opens up. And New at WPC told me that lawmakers even this year passed legislation that is providing some funding for public employers to notify workers about their rights. Things like overtime rules. And maybe, there's a poster in the staff lounge that says, make sure you're aware of what the Paid Family Medical Leave Act, affords to you. But at the same time, they're not using that funding to make sure that workers are notified of their rights to opt out of paying union dues.
Worker rights they're interested in get added to posters, and the other ones, like Janus rights, get fine print. And I can only guess that's because of the union influence over this issue. Unions right now have access to employees after hiring that other groups do not and will not and should not. It's a third party. And our state also takes dues collections for unions. It facilitates that with government payroll systems. So the issue is really muddy. I mean, if you were just hired as a new worker, you don't follow news in 2018, you just might not know that this isn't a workplace requirement. You're being given these papers in a new hire orientation from a union. It's muddy.
So again, many of these unions, have created these narrow opt-out windows. So you have to really educate yourself. And that's why groups like Washington Policy Center and Freedom Foundation have gone out of their way to run these education campaigns. If you check out either of their websites for WPC or Freedom Foundation, there's a lot of information there. And they even go through each of the different state unions here in Washington State. And so you can just click on that box, say you're a member, AFL-CIO or WFSE or WEA. If you're an educator, you can click on those and go directly to information about how to opt out of that specific union. Because again, the rules are different based on your union representation.